All right, good morning everybody. It's Cale Carruthers here at Teldio. I'm going to be your host for today's webinar. Just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your morning to listen to us. Before we get started, we do have a couple of housekeeping things we want to go over. So first things first, all of the users in the webinar are muted, so we can't hear you. So if you're yelling at us to go into further detail about something we can't hear you, we will be accepting questions, obviously, but we're going to hold those right until the end so you can send them in through the chat feature, and we'll make sure that we answer them. There is going to be a video recording sent out after this, so if you have to leave halfway through or you know somebody couldn't make it, don't worry. They are going to get a recording sent out afterwards. In addition to that, in a couple of the slides here today, we do have links to some other webinars and videos. All those links will be sent out in an email after as well. And just one more thing, I just want to tell everybody here that we are going to be at the CPE in Orlando. So if something in this webinar or anything else piqued your interest, feel free to stop by the booth, say hello. I'll be there. Should be fun. Really looking forward to getting out of Canada to some nice warm weather. So now that all the housekeeping is out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So a little bit about Teldio. So hopefully you guys know who we are already, but maybe you're new to the team and you haven't worked with us before. So a little bit of background. We are an applications developer. We've been doing this since early 2008. Basically, we want to give you applications that are going to make your customers more efficient, keep them safe, and also get them some cost savings as well. So we're an authorized application provider for the Motor Turbo line of Motorola radios. We love what we do. More recently, we've been trying to do some more system integration stuff, some custom development. So if you have any of those kind of questions, and we're going to dig into that a little bit later, feel free to bring that up with us. So the topic of today's webinar, we're talking about TruFleet and its integration with safety applications. So what does TruFleet do? It gives you the ability to track and manage vehicles and personnel. So mobile radios, portable radios, tracks all of those. With TruFleet, you have the opportunity to track people indoors using Bluetooth technology and iBeacons. And then when they go outside, you're tracking them with GPS in real time. So it's really easy to use. That's one of the reasons I really like TruFleet. It's available through a web browser, so you can access that anywhere. You can get it on your desktop, your tablet, mobile phone. And if you haven't seen it already, we do have a link in here to the TruFleet webinar where we really dig into all the details of why TruFleet is an amazing solution. Today, we're talking about our new Teldio Lone Worker solution. So it works like most lone workers. You have a periodic ping that is sent out to radios to verify their well-being. If a radio does not respond in time, there's an alarm that's automatically generated and sent out to other radios. But it's not just radios. You can also do email, mobile devices. You could trigger contact closures for sirens. You could integrate to PA systems. There's all sorts of things that you can do. We, of course, have a lone worker video that you can check out. We're going to send that link out once again so you can see it in action. But wait, there's more. What about lone worker location? So it's great to know that somebody needs help, but when they need help, you also need to know where they are. So that's what we've done. We have an integration now where lone worker, when it triggers, you're going to be able to see a pop-up in TruFleet and locate where that person is. The text messages or the emails or the phone calls that go out to notify that response group are going to have that location information tied to it. So it's extremely important to know where they are. So in addition to the new Teldio Lone Worker, this integration also works with other safety applications that we have here at Teldio. So what are some of those applications? Well, the traditional man down. We've got our man down as well. So what does that mean? You can use the Teldio man down, and there's a couple of reasons why it's different from Motorola's. And then we have the traditional radio panic that can be sent out from radio text or through a Motorola emergency. So if you have a customer that's used to pressing that orange button, that's what they like, don't worry, we can still integrate that in, and you're going to get that location information sent out. And if you haven't seen it, check out our Teldio man down video. Got some amazing in-house acting in that video, so just appreciate that, and you'll learn something as well. All right, so at this point, we're going to pass it over to Dee. For everybody who doesn't know Dee, she's the Director of Operations and Support at Teldio, possibly the favorite Teldio employee. She's going to take us through a demo here.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So thanks for the introduction, Kale. You might be the favorite of some people, too. So
I do.
Yeah. We have Jeff on the line here as well. So he's competing with his green pants that you'll see at Orlando soon. So, all right. So I want to show you. We technically have two new things here. We have our loan worker application and integration, application's integration into TruFleet. So a very quick overview. Loan worker is built on our new Teldio gateway platform, which is what we build all our applications on. So, that has a web browser that you can access by just going to an IP address. So I'm going to log into our instance here. And when you log into that instance, you are given you're given links to all the applications that you have. Loan worker is there, but before we get there, I want to walk you through gateway settings. So TruFleet in particular, because that's what we are concentrating on today. So this magical integration of loan worker into TruFleet is just done on this page right here. So TruFleet is still going to be hosted on a Windows computer that has its own IP address. To make a link between the gateway and TruFleet, all you have to do is put that instance's IP address here, and it knows to then communicate over these ports and client ID numbers that's pre-set up in TruFleet. And that's it. Then on the loan worker end, like Kale mentioned, we have the traditional timers where you can define how long to wait before checking on someone. So our default timers that we suggest here are 30 minutes. By 30 minutes, this means every 30 minutes we will send a text message to a user to ask, hey, are you okay? And then the timer below here, the 10 minutes, is how much time they have to respond to that message. And if they don't respond within that time, then we will raise an alarm on their behalf. We also have this feature where we actually send them a reminder halfway through this timer right here. So if it's 10, at the 5-minute interval, if it's 4, it's at the 2-minute interval, we will send a reminder saying, hey, we are checking on you again. Please respond back with a loan worker message so that we know that you're okay. Then for contacts, so contacts are the people that you would actually check via loan worker. So you can create them in here. So if I go into my contact right here, you can see my name, email, I have radio ID, and I just check this box to say that I am loan worker authorized. I want to quickly talk about the sign-in code. So you are most likely probably familiar with Motorola's sign-in feature, where you can sign into a radio, where in environments where radios aren't necessarily assigned to people. That is also supported with the Teldio applications, and including loan worker, where someone can just pick up a radio and say this is the person that's being tracked. So going back to contact, so I have these people. And as you can see, I have the group sales next to some of the people over there. That's a way for us to group people. Why would we group people? It's for putting people together for when, to tell the application what to do when there's an alarm. And setting up what to do when you set up an alarm, when there's an alarm is very simple. You could say my alarm source is loan worker, and then say when there's an alarm, I want to send it via email and SMS, and I want to send to these people. So this is that group that I mentioned. You could just select that group, or you could select individuals you want to send to. I'm going to select Mark, Jeff, and Kale to send this via email and SMS. I'm also going to say, yes, I'm integrating to TruFleet. I'm going to save that dispatch rule. So that's just a quick setup of loan worker. then I can go to my lone worker dashboard here, which shows all the people who are indeed actually enabled for lone worker. Just a very quick overview on this. The status circle here to give you different colors. You'll see them change shortly, the names, their timers, the last time we sent a check-in request to them, and the last time they were active. Now, presently, the last time they were active is only tracked by when they send a text message to the system, but we are in the works of adding push-to-talk as a last active time activity as well, because that could just mean that they're alive and that will be available as an option. Now, to do the demo, Kale, should I be talking for 30 minutes? Probably not, right? Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I don't think so. We want to keep it short and sweet.
Keep it short. So that takes us to another small feature we have where from the dashboard we could say, okay, this person's doing a really dangerous job. I want to check on them more often than 30 minutes. So you could go to edit. For the purpose of the demo, I'm going to set the timers to 1, both the check-in timer and the pre-alarm timer. So it's set to 1 there. And I'm going to enable TruFleet, the lone worker tracking. You will hear a radio ring once I do this. And at the same time, we're actually tracking them for it. So I'm going to get a request. I'm not going to acknowledge it. So I'm going to jump into TruFleet at this time. So we have a TruFleet instance where this is the office right here. We have 3 iBeacons placed around the office. It's telling me that my radio, which is the same thing as on lone worker, is in this demo room. As you can see, we have some people outside, we have some people inside, and so TruFleet is doing its job on the background where it's checking for location. So just now I got a message saying pre-alarm warning. If we do not respond in half a minute, an alarm will be raised on my behalf. So I'm going to actually let that go so that you will actually see the alarm in action. And for those who are not familiar, how we track these people indoors is with the iBeacons, which we sell, and which works very well as well. So on here, you can also see on the lone worker that my status actually just went from orange to red. And on the screen right here, you could see that there is a notification saying that I am in emergency, and it says that I have raised a lone worker alarm and last seen in the demo room. So the demo room is the name of this location that I preset. That's why it's telling me that I'm there. If I was outside, then it would actually send me the location, the street address of where I got into trouble as well, and that gets sent out as an email. So this is an email that I had set for it to receive. You can see Dimitri Silva, Radio 229 has raised lone worker alarm last seen at near the demo room. And I believe Kale and Jeff, you would have gotten text messages with the same information.
I did.
On that, yeah. So and of course this message can go to radios as well. So that's a lone worker working, but I want to quickly demo that button press feature that we talked about. So I'm just going to press a button on the radio now to send a preset text message to TruFleet or the gateway rather, and that will also do the same thing and raise an alarm. Now it's giving me a different message saying I have raised a panic event near the demo room. So very easy integration if you have TruFleet. And if you have the lone worker, it will tell you where someone is when they get into trouble.
Right. Or the man down it could work with as well.
Yeah, exactly, man down. So man down, Motorola emergency alarms would work exactly the same. So at this time, I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah. Okay, and then so that Kale can start his share.
All right, we're back.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dee, do you want to talk about how this connection works?
Sure. Yeah. So we have so TruFleet, as I mentioned, works on a desktop computer, Windows desktop computer. The Teldio gateway is a separate box. Now, if previously, if you got the Teldio gateway application and TruFleet, you needed to connect to the radio network either via control stations or directly via the connection for TruFleet, and then add a control station to the gateway so that the gateway could talk to the radio network. So with this integration, we actually don't need the gateway to separate way for the gateway to talk to the radio network, it can reuse TruFleet's connection to the radio network. So there's some cost savings for you there as well. And this doesn't just apply to lone worker. This applies to lone worker, man down, or any of our other gateway applications, alarm solutions, radio status tracker. So if you have TruFleet in the mix, then you don't need the additional methods to connect the Teldio gateway to the radio network. And even if you don't have TruFleet, we have a way to sell you that connection, present you that connection separately. Yeah.
Right. So that's going to save them from buying a couple control stations every time.
And give more capacity as well because it goes through TruFleet. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to open it up for questions. So if you've submitted them in the chat, we'll take a look right now and hopefully just run through them all.
Okay, I have a question here. Someone asking what other Teldio gateway applications are there. So one, I believe we have another webinar on this that we can send as well. So Teldio Gateway is it's a small platform that we mentioned. So we built quite a few applications on there. You saw Lone Worker and Man Down. But our main application there actually is the alarm management system, AMS for short, that we have where it could take alarms in and send messages out. Some of you might be thinking, well, you guys are already used to do this. This is not new, which is true. We used to have a different solution, but this solution is much simpler to configure. It is very flexible, and more importantly to you all here, is very cost effective as well. Yeah.
No more user license issues.
Yes, this is true. Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's no use in terms of people who are receiving alarms. There are no user license. So you could send to 10 people, you could send to 1,000 people. There are no user license. There's no user licensing here. So it's very modular based. We can have inputs, outputs at a low cost, and send alarms to people. Then we also have another application called WTS, Work Ticketing System. So that is also on the gateway for, I believe we have another webinar.
Yeah, we do.
So what that is, a all-in-one ticketing system for places, small places or bigger places where they just don't want to spend thousands of dollars on a ticketing system just to be able to send to their radio. This is you create both the input and the output. Someone can go to a screen, input tickets, and decide who to send it to and how. It could be via radio text message, job ticket, Teldio smart ticket. It could be via emails, and when they send responses, it comes back to you. So it's not just to radios, it goes to other devices such as a desktop, a tablet, cell phones as well. So. I have a question here. Will the software center the alarming radio on the map when it receives an alarm? That's a good question. That is something that we actually look into at Bear. So TruFleet has a follow on map feature where when there's an emergency, we could say, hey, center on this map and start following this radio on the map. That is not something that we have at this moment, but again, very high on the feature list, and it's something that can be added very easily. And that's another thing about gateway application platform where things can really be added. We have a very good dev team who can add things quickly in there as well, and we can do some rapid development. Yeah, but that's very good feature. Can you set up the alarms via geofences? So that's another question. So outside, outdoors, when someone so TruFleet in itself has a geofence feature where you can send a notification when someone enters or exits a geofence. That's something that we could potentially send out as an alarm. But if someone happens to be in a geofence when they raise an alarm, I believe we can include that information as well.
Right.
If not, but that's a good.
It has the pop-up the same way.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's a pop-up in that sense of the information. Yeah. Sorry. Another thing that I actually forgot to mention with the gateway work is I touched on the real rapid development. The fact so we have all these preset applications, but we also do a lot of custom work where you might have customers who want one-off requests. That's not really applicable to anywhere. For example, we had a customer who had a test track where they wanted to open, close gates, control traffic lights, and make a dashboard that's very customized to them. It's not something that we could really resell, but that's something that we were able to set up for this particular customer as well, and that was done on the gateway, and that's part of our custom solution offering that we have on there as well. I have another question here asking, how is Teldio's man down different from Motorola's man down? So Teldio's man down, the main difference, so we work on Motorola's option board, and we have a firmware that goes on there that has several timers. It is similar in terms of the time, so the same timer feature is there as to Motorola's man down, but we have additional features where you can recalibrate your orientation point. We could set the alarms to the maximum volume, regardless of what their settings is on. And I believe, unless I'm mistaken, Motorola messages can only just go out as an emergency message out to the radio group, and you usually need there's no other way to let other parties know that someone's in trouble. So that's where we can, Teldio's man down has a lot more features, and it's customizable very easily through a programmer, Teldio programmer, and there's adjustable timers for each user, and there's different angles you can set it up as well. Another question, will this application work with IP Site Connect Cap Plus, Capacity Plus, multi-site wireline connectivity? Yes, 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 and yes. So so we work, all application really work from simplex all the way through to Capacity Max. So that simplex, conventional repeater, IP Site Connect, Capacity Plus, Link Capacity Plus, Capacity Max. TruFleet actually works with Connect Plus as well, but as you all know, Connect Plus is being discontinued soon. And yes, we do support wireline connectivity for not just TruFleet, for all our applications that support data messages. Yeah, good questions. Yeah. Can I purchase and install on my carrier system and resale login to my users? For TruFleet, yes, you can do that. We actually have a few systems who do just that. So you could buy an entire TruFleet system from us, and TruFleet has this concept of fleets. And when you create logins for users, you can assign fleets to users, so that when company A logs in, they will only see fleet A and only the radios within that. At the same time, company B can have a different login and only see people who are in company B. So that's definitely doable and has been done as well. Is your option board software required to work with this gateway application? So the option board software is only required for our man-down solution. So it is not needed for lone worker. It is not needed for the panic button messaging or for our alarms or anything. The only time you require the option board today is for the Teldio man-down, and if you're familiar with our telephony connection for RBX application. That's it. Yeah, I guess that's all the question. But if you do think of something else, you can email sales. Well, I think that's the next slide.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can contact us for more information. You can either call us on the phone, you can email us, sales@teldio.com. Like we said before, we're going to be at CPE, so if you're going, stop by the booth, say hello, tell us how great of a job we did here today. So we need your support. So come by, say hello. Thanks for your time, everybody. We really appreciate you coming to today's webinar. Thanks a lot.